Yugi Bros!
What's up guys, Yugi Bros here with another duel video. Today we have Ecto Zombies versus Amazons. I haven't used the Ecto Zombie deck since Attack from the Deep has dropped, so let me get on with the changes. We're playing Mask of the Accursed to stall out longer and also do some extra damage, because why the heck not? And we are also playing Pyramid of Wonders, which boosts zombies 200 per monster your opponent controls. And lastly, we also are buffing the deck a little bit with Zombina as another zombie monster, but also can bring back stuff from the grave to bring back our beat sticks for the following. So we start out, we have 2 counters already on the Ecto, and we put Mask on their page. So while it has the heirloom and they have the village out, we might as well just kind of sit until we have more of an out to deal with that. They're going to windstorm the monsters here to defense, and we could change their monster with ours, but we'll just elect to let it die. And of course, it's like right on cue, we draw Zombina, so we did forget here that it does go back to the deck, but ultimately it doesn't matter for this matchup. So we summon Zombina, we Pyramid of Wonders, and now we have monsters that are buffed 400 by Ecto and 600 now once they summoned that monster by Pyramid. So the plan wasn't originally to do this, but we're kind of just going to sit on these big monsters that they can't attack, while on every one of my standby phases they're going to take 500 for the mask that is on the Sage. And we have Windstorm down, and they're going to have Shut just so they can set a Windstorm here to try to advance. But we draw a Sphere. So they're down to 15 already. And while this wasn't the game plan, it's definitely a good backup plan for a deck that kind of just focuses on massive damage. But if it can't deal with something like an heirloom or a village to replace it, you can put the mask on it. And of course we draw another mask. They go down to 1,000. We're just going to YOLO double masks here because we have Sphere. We figure we can survive one turn. And even if they try their darnest to get rid of these masks, both are going to burn them in the standby phase, and that's game. So little cheap way to win game 1. But does work. Still works. It's like a zombie burn strategy. While we gain massive attack through Ectoplasmic Fortification and we can do some damage, the masks can do a little bit more damage. But also having a bunch of giant attack monsters, if you're not playing against Blue Eyes, because they'll beat you out there, it's a cool little, like, in my opinion, it's like a tier 2 deck where, yeah, it's definitely not going to get you all the wins against tier 1s or tier 1.5s, but it's a cool little side option until we get more support for King of the Skull Servants and have that zombie deck take off. We might as well mess around with this little zombie engine. We're going to summon Double Costin, who is at 2,000 through Ecto. We're going to have it swing over Sage, and Sage actually dies here. I thought whatever the back row was going to save, but it didn't. They decided in the Twister for the mask, which I kind of feel like they should play Dust Tornado instead, only because you're playing a control deck anyways. Oh, here's the interesting thing. The double damage. So Ecto does double damage. Swordswoman does all the damage back to us, so any damage that we take off Swordswoman is doubled, in fact. Which is kind of a nag. But, yeah, so I feel like they should play Dust Tornado over... Oh, ready for intercepting his pluses there. But the Tornado over the Twister, because the Twister in a control deck, just not nearly as good as Dust Tornado is. But we're going to set Mask because they had a face-down monster, and I don't want to go with no back row. But now we're kind of like on the offensive that we should just kind of swing in for damage here. They're going to get the Swordswoman, but the Swordswoman's at 17. Our guy is at 22, so we would take 5, but it doubles it to 1,000. But I'd rather kill that now than have them keep looping Swordswomans. Go figure we draw another mask. So we're just going to bluff set that. We're going to swing in here. We're going to try to swing for game, and they're going to kunai. And then I completely forgot they have Destiny Draw as their skill, so they're going to add Swordswoman. And I'm going to try to track into Dragon Zombie, and they get it. because both our back row are bluffs. It'd be really nice to have had one of those and an extra little 500, but unfortunately, they got it. Still close game, though. Got them down to 200, even with bluffed back row at the end there. So it's definitely a possible option. It's definitely something no one would see coming, for sure. So Ecto will get a counter here. Set. We're going to battle phase. We're going to swing for 17. And they are going to take it. So looking good right now. They're going to activate the village. Some of the swordswomen have the heirloom, because of course, why not? Why don't they always have that? We're going to kunai it. We're going to elect not to boost our monster, though. We're just going to switch it to defense. We need all our zones. And we get our own boost through our Ecto, so we don't feel like we need the kunai plus extra damage. So they windstorm, and we're going to windstorm. Swordswoman can't attack because she's got mask on. So our standby phase will go to 18. And we're going to summon the second dragon zombie. And we're going to swing into Sage. So Sage will die, Village will trigger, they'll get Swordswoman. We're going to have this dragon zombie swing into that one. We would take, I think it's, it doubles it to 400, yep. So they draw Twister, of course. Getting a little another nudge with a 500 there. It's really good for our deck, but unfortunately we're taking double damage, and that Swordswoman's going through. So, and we of course don't draw another trap. So they have Swordswoman, second Swordswoman. They're gonna have the Swordswoman, the heirloom, kill the Costin. We're gonna windstorm here because we might as well 2-for-1 this. And of course we draw a mask. Thank God. So we're gonna target that Swordswoman. We're gonna summon Zombina. And once again, we're kind of back in the driver's seat. We're going to have Zombina attack here just to see if they could flip anything. And then we're going to do what we actually were going to do, which was kill that. And then they summon another monster. And I feel like, since they put it in attack mode, that the face down is kunai. And go figure, I was right. So we didn't swing here. So they're going to flip this now. So this monster is getting, it's 17, but it's 22 because of kunai. And then we remembered that it'll shuffle it back into the deck, so it goes up to 24. We're going to mess around with the counters in a second. But all of a sudden, I can't deal with a 2400 monster. Even though we have Ecto to boost, and we elect not to boost here. I think that was the wrong move. I think I should have just boosted anyways. But now they're down. They've been down, so they used the skill to get the other Twister to get the mask. So we had them down to 300, but now they're kind of like going off on the offensive. What's crazy here is this monster is just going to keep getting bigger. So now she's at 26, I believe, and it shuffles monsters back into our deck. So we're kind of at a loss because we keep getting monsters back to our deck, and that makes our draws a lot worse because we can't always get the draws of the traps that we need or the spells that we need. Or the mask, because mask had just ended. So now we're in a very crappy situation where we kind of just have to stall out until we draw something that answers it. But they keep throwing they threw the Costin back in to shuffle. We drew Costin. It's such a pain. We're only maining 3 Costin, 3 zombie, and 1 Zombina, and that's it for monsters. The rest are all defensive things and spheres and stuff. But then we draw Dragon Zombie, and then we can't really do anything with that either. So we're going to set it. Swordswoman will kill it, and Trini will go in for game. So unfortunate. Both game 2 and 3, we got them down to 200 and 300 life points each, but was not enough to commit. So, unfortunately, we didn't win that one. But I like having different decks to showcase so that you guys can see, like, the differences that we can mess with, the different ideas that still exist in this game, and, definitely a break from the norm. So, as always, guys, though, comment, like, subscribe. Leave a comment down below if, A, you would change anything about this deck, and or B, if you have a more successful zombie build, like a Skull Servant thing or whatever. I haven't messed too much after Attack from the Deep with zombies, even though we have Zombina and King and stuff like that, and Viral Infection to boot, but I'm definitely open to suggestions and definitely would like to test more fun decks going into the future. So, as always, guys, this is Yugi Bros, and I'm signing out. Peace.